Hi there, Evan here with Crypto and Markets for Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. Of course, we all know what happened in Saudi Arabia over the weekend. I think 11 princes, as well as other people within the kingdom, were arrested in a big anti corruption purge by Mohammed bin Salman. In fact, I believe there's a report a helicopter was taken down of, I think, 8 people trying to get away. The helicopter got taken down, of course, magically, right? And then this morning, of course, the news came out that that probe is being widened, and now bank accounts are being frozen. I mean, look, no matter what you thought in the regime down the years or whatnot, money was still stolen from the kingdom. Okay, so let's just leave it there. But that really isn't the real story here. The real story, of course, is Saudi Arabia and Iran. Again, there's been a conflict between these two countries for many years. Again, I can do a whole another 4 videos on that, to be fair, but I'll go ahead and leave it simple for this video. And leave it simply to the economics of oil. You see, of course, in Vienna late last year, when the first of the OPEC production cuts were agreed to, Iran had begrudgingly, of course, agreed to a effectively production cap when, of course, the sanctions were lifted by Obama about 3 years ago, and they were trying to basically get oil back onto the market because the sanctions really hit the oil market, of course, right, for them. So effectively, they were capped by a deal that was really put in place by Saudi Arabia. And again, of course, you have the proxy war going on between Saudi Arabia and Yemen, and of course, Saudi Arabia stated that Yemen's being backed by the Iranians, right? So there's that angle. Again, I won't really get too political with this. I mean, again, that is happening, of course, and it's something we need to keep in mind as to what's going to happen in the future. But I wanted to focus on more on the potential consequences here for the oil market. Now, of course, they're both in the OPEC production cut deal. And now the Saudis in the anti-corruption purge are going to have a lot of foreign assets now, right? And of course, the U.S. has really taken a lot of OPEC share in China as well. They're taking in a lot less imports from OPEC because they're producing a lot of more oil themselves now through shale, of course. So anyone saying, and by the way, I saw Twitter on this yesterday. Anyone saying this is a complete moron, to be honest. Saudi Arabia, because of the anti-corruption probe, does not mean they're going to cut production further, okay? We can stop that conspiracy theory right now. It ain't happening, okay? There. But I think implicitly what's happened here, it's really set up the stage for really almost economic warfare now. I mean, think about it. If Saudi Arabia really wanted to get at Iran, and vice versa, they know the number one asset each country holds is oil, right? So what does Iran do? Think about it. The currency reserves for Saudi Arabia have really been going down ever since the production cuts are basically signed, right? I mean, they've been going down for a few years now, to be fair, but they've really accelerated since the production cuts have happened. So what does Iran do to drive that further? They break their commitment in the OPEC deal and then start pumping out more oil to bring the price down. Okay? That's the Iranian angle. Which then leads me to Saudi Arabia. Think about it. They now have something like close to 30 billion, now not including the bank accounts, of course, but now they have something like close to $30 billion in assets they're now going to own as part of the purge that happened on the weekend. Think of one way they can both regain their market share in China and bring more of that money back home. I know he's ruled this out, but I'm going to throw it out here. A devaluation of the riyal. That's right. In the last roughly about 3 years, Saudi Arabia has lost about a third of its currency reserves. If they want to get that back in one shot and increase the value in their own currency of the foreign assets, they devalue the riyal. That's right. They devalue the riyal, they make themselves more competitive in China, and they take those foreign assets, they turn them into more riyals. And then by devaluing the currency, they put more currency supply out there, more riyals out there in the market, which then brings the reserves back up. Again, I have nothing to verify this. I'm just throwing the whole video out there. I had a chance to really think about this last night. It actually makes a lot of sense. And of course, before a military conflict, what's the number one thing that always happens beforehand? It's economic warfare. Each party knows the asset that the other has, and they'll try to devalue it before anything else. Now, of course, I did a whole video on Friday about how I think the Russians blinked and are ultimately going to pull out of the OPEC deal in March. Where do I think all this goes? I think at the very least, the compliance of Saudi Arabia and Iran going forward is going to be a lot less at the very least. If not, one of them joins Russia and pulls out. So therefore, I think my energy thesis of the OPEC deal breaking apart and lower oil prices is still going to hit the energy stocks eventually. That's all I really got to state for this video. If you like what you heard, hit the like or upvote, leave a comment down below, and follow my channel for more reports like this one. And again, before acting on any advice I give in any of these videos, please consult your financial advisor. Have a wonderful day, everybody.